the Galaxy Fold. the phone that changed the world. That is the next subject. And with that, the Galaxy Fold came out and looked fantastic. It looked so cool, but the screen on the front looked to be the biggest issue, as it was tiny, 4.3 inches versus the giant Super AMOLED screen that unfolds like a butterfly in your hand. And I didn't even click on a full article just to give you some information on this, Dad. I don't know how much information you have. I don't know professionally if I should call you Scott or Dad here. It's kind of weird, but this is my channel, so I'm going with it.
Do what you need to do.
But the Galaxy Fold, there are some things that say it's trying so hard to become a tablet that it forgot to become a phone. And one of the first articles is Samsung Galaxy Fold's latest issue. Not so sticky sticky stickers. Galaxy Fold is literally destroying its name. Those are the top three when I searched it. So have you been following the debacle that goes with the Galaxy Fold?
No, it's kind of funny. The Galaxy Fold is going to be a first generation sort of game changing device, right? It's a phone, it's a tablet. Not sure what it is right now. I'm always one to get on early with tech, but I'm telling you, on this one here, I'm probably at a hold state until they work this technology out a little bit better. Mm-hmm. There are other competitors out there that are trying to come up with something, and I believe, if I saw this right just the other day, Microsoft had something as well, but
yep, that's in the next one. And jumping ahead.
Yeah, sorry. But with the Galaxy Fold, the concept is there. Most people who would use this are professional people, men in suits, ladies with their, bags or whatever, trying to bring this thing in. You put this in your seat pocket, it's going to be a big lump. It's going to look like you're carrying some sort of bad stuff around in you. But yeah. It's a little bit thick still. It's a little bit fragile. Not sure about how a case is going to work for something like that. So there's a few things to work out, but give it time.
Oh yeah,
it's going to evolve. It's going to become a pretty amazing piece of technology. But I think this first version, I'm at a hold until we get there.
Oh, I agree, and I would like to preface everything by saying that this is, like you're saying, it's the first generation product. How much can your expectations really be for it? But it still should be a product that you can use every day and not have to worry. And I think that's where people's they have the most issues right now. I think that they just want to be able to pick up the phone and use it without worrying about it. But so I pulled up, and by the way, the first article we were looking at was from CNET, so all credit to CNET. This current one that you're looking at is from Tech Radar, so if you want to follow along with us, you may. Literally it says their verdict. They said the Galaxy Fold delivers a wow factor that no phone offers today, and I think that's 100% true. I think it really does. When you pull your phone out and you go shabam, look at my gigantic tablet now. That's gonna be huge. And it's gaming taken to the next level, as well as Samsung's biggest battery, are the four. So that's like the pros to it. And then the against is outrageously expensive and the vulnerable plastic. And CNET actually did something where they made a robot that folded it. It opened and closed, opened and closed, opened and closed. And actually, Alex, if you could chime in on this one, you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, but they did it 120,000 times, maybe 129,000 times before it actually decided to give out and not work properly. Now it's not in. Samsung did something similar. They got 200,000 out of them, but they're a controlled environment. CNET looked like they had it on a desk kind of thing. But I'll kind of leave it there. I just spewed a lot of information. Let's discuss that. I think that's an interesting thing. The Fold. Alex, you out there? We might have lost him.
Alex is on mute.
Okay. He might be letting the dogs out. But what is your take on that? And like the super. So in order to get the screen to actually fold, it has to be so thin plastic that is just so easy to break.
That's the problem. Is I already have trouble keeping my phone from cracking the screen now. It doesn't happen very often, but I take a lot of care to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I was kind of saying I'm not sure how a case is going to operate for this thing, right? Because you can't really cover up the front of it. You have to have something that will cover up the back It will open with the phone. So there's some a little bit of engineering that's going to need to take place on the case. And I thought I was a little bit out of touch, spending $1,400 on my Galaxy 5G, right? The S10 5G. But this one's off the charts, another $600 more expensive. So, it like I said, first generation. Let's wait and see the improvements and what they learn from this first generation, and go from there. Hopefully, Samsung will start putting out some case ideas and stuff as well. I don't know that I've seen anything for it, but the accessories make as much of a difference as the phone itself, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Deckbones actually says, if this is what the prototype is like, then I'm anxious to see what's later. Come on, the problem is that people are too impatient. So I agree. I think people are going to jump on this and expect it to be a final product, and this is their prototype. I mean, it's released to the public, but let's be honest. This is the prototype. This is just after a prototype. Like, you're a beta tester at this point. So I like that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very true. And the other thing too, so the other couple of drawbacks I see is they decided to go ahead and put only 0.5 terabyte of storage in it, right? So a lot of the newer phones are coming out with 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
Right. My 5G's got 1 terabyte of space. You put a tablet type of device, you're going to want more apps. You're going to want to do more, on the go video editing and things like that than you would do on a smaller screen. So more storage is certainly warranted. So why they decided to go with only 512, not sure. It does have the large battery, but it needs a large battery. All right, you're powering 2 fairly decent sized screens, one way oversized, one a little smaller than normal. So, powering that much screen real estate is going to take that much battery. So, jury's still out on how long that's going to last. Some of the tests have been promising, but let's put it in everyday use and see how well it does.
Right, that is a big concern that I think everybody has is day to day. How long will it actually last? And I know that is something that everybody's been thinking, because you put a piece of pocket lint. They even state it. If you put a piece of pocket lint in there, it can possibly give you an issue, and that's not good. That's no good. That is what worries most of these people that are having issues, or that are worried about it as of right now. If a piece of pocket lint can do that much damage, then what does a rock do? What does a drop do? Like what happens if you drop it on the floor? That's going to be overall.
And I don't use. I know I say I have trouble keeping my. I don't have trouble, but I spend a lot of effort trying to make sure my screen doesn't scratch or crack. One thing I don't do is I don't put a screen protector on it. But when I do, the screen protector I choose are the glass screen protectors, right? The Monster, or the tempered glass. So that obviously is out for the tablet piece of this, because nobody's going to be coming out with a screen protector that's glass that will fold, right? That's going to be some time. So you're going to have to go with the sort of plastic rubbery ones. And tactically, I don't like the tactile feel of those screen protectors. I like the smoothness of the tempered glass. So that's it. It's going to make it tough to protect that screen with anything other than a piece of plastic on there. So we'll see how that goes.
And here's my
you ever
thinking.
try to put a plastic screen protector on it? It is not easy.
You get bubbles and everything else, and it just doesn't feel right. I like the smooth feel of a nice new screen with no scratches and everything in it. So I think most people probably are that way.
And Alex actually had the Motorola Z2 Force, and that's why he's coming up with that particular statement there, because that was an awful screen to put a plastic screen protector on.
If they can make their actual screen like the Moto Z2 Force screen was, I think it might be okay to some degree. But the problem is either they're going to have to make the phone very thin, but it's very, very fragile with a terrible battery, or they're going to have to make it very thick to make it actually last. Yeah. And the battery to be a little better.
Oh yeah. Well, and they tried doing the little plastic layer, I think.
Yeah, it's just they're going to make it too thick, trying to make it any sort of durable at all. Mm-hmm. And so you're either going to have to be really careful with your phone, or just have a giant wallet sticking out of your pocket, basically.
Yep. I mean, you're absolutely right with that one.
The other thing I think that was interesting with this is on release, they're going to have two versions of it, the 4G version, the 5G version. And in order to fit the 5G radio, which is slightly larger, they had to actually shrink the battery. So it drops down 100, a little over 100 milliamp hours of battery life to get the 5G radio in. Of course, the 5G radio takes more battery. So you're going to, the suggestion here, if you're interested in going out and buying one of those things, uh, I would start with 4G because there's really no 5G service right now that's really
Usable.
marketable and ready to go. So
Oh yeah.
4G will get you a little better start on that.
Now, as we
Well,
end
I
up
think
this,
what they may have to end up doing
Mhm.
is kind of like what Tesla was doing with their cars, is they had to develop a battery that could hold more of a charge and be smaller.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way they're going to get anything good out of the phone in terms of the battery life. And that's exactly what Tesla has done, and what they're continuing to do is try to make more efficient batteries. So I think like any battery you put into the Galaxy Fold is just going to be too small because there's a lot of screen to light up. It's just
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to work very well.
Oh yeah. Well, and so before we end up this, because we're running out of time for that particular portion of it, Galaxy Fold, win or fail? Do you think it's a win or a fail?
Uh, Boy, that's a tough one. I think this first version probably limited sales, limited success, more problems than not. As they work through those things, I'm going to say it's probably this first version's a fail.
Okay, Alex.
I'll say it's going to be a lot like the Amazon Echo and Google Home. Not many people will have it for a while, but as they keep making it better, people will start to get it more.
Yep, and I think as of right now, it's a win just because they got it out. I think the fact that they actually got it out for the people makes it a win. Okay, moving on to my most. This is the topic I have been waiting for. The Microsoft event